So the Vikalp Sangam is a process platform by which alternatives, people who are practicing or conceiving alternatives, radical alternatives to the currently dominant system in any field of agriculture, energy, arts, governance, health, education, etc., are able to come together, collaborate, share with each other, build further work together, and do joint visioning of what different societies, what an alternative, just and sustainable society could look like.
And when I say move, even if you're in the middle of the act, you just move.
Thank you very much.
Wow. Thank you.
So I know it is commonly pointed out, and to a large extent it is true, that more people have been pulled out of poverty in the last 20 years than ever before. But the problem with that worldview is that many of those people were not poor in the first place. And a lot of the poverty reduction that has happened in 20 years is due to welfare programs, not because the economic structures have enabled a more equitable generation of surplus. I think if you have total assets of about 6 lakhs, you are in the top 10% of the world's population. Imagine that. By assets, I mean to the last spoon and katori in your kitchen. So that's the kind of disparity. You need a new game in town, basically.
For me, the money system is an organized system of slavery. And so the alternative is actually, if we really want to create a world of freedom and of love and harmony, then we need the alternative economy. We're in a very deep crisis because all of the wisdom and the spiritual traditions are have become subsumed by the god of money. And so the value is actually to, in a sense, exercise that.
The current system, if it was working fine, wouldn't make us feel so alienated, wouldn't make us feel so isolated and extracted.
There was a statistic in the paper that came out recently that a handful of people, forget how many, but a handful, have added $1.3 trillion to their wealth in the last 1 year. So essentially we have a economic system that is inherently unjust, and it's structured to be unjust. And therefore in the 70s and 80s, when we used to say that the rich are getting rich and the poor are getting poorer, everybody say, oh, you're on the loony left. But today, these are the statistics of the World Bank, this is the statistics of the IMF, this is the statistics of government. It's no longer the loony left. The rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer. There is no doubt about it. And the gap is becoming so huge that we cannot live in a world like this anymore. The second aspect of the issue about it is that the growth of a capital economy is very, or put it this way, that a capital economy has to grow because there is inflation and so on. And that growth is based totally, one way or the other, on natural resources. And so the resources are being depleted, that's being depleted at such an alarming rate. You know, we are doing in decades what hasn't happened in centuries.
It's high time that we youngsters should invest, rather than investing in gold, big fancy cars or big fancy houses or in big educational institutes. We should invest in communities. So these are the communities are the real wealth which will help us in all the difficult times, during our struggles, and how can we embrace our struggles, embrace our challenges and pass through it by fun and a lot of happiness.
I think the central seeking of these various networks is the enhancement and regeneration and re-empowerment of community.
I want to be in a world where there are million yeses and we can exist in a different form, not one dominant paradigm of, well, this is progress and these are the stages that humankind has to go through. to be accepted, to be called developed, to be called progressed. So I think that's fundamentally why we need a new economy that's not monolithic, that's not just homogenized, because some people in power think that way.
The alternative economy says we are individuals only because we're part of collectives. And unless the collective as a whole is benefiting, at some point or the other, we are also suffering, right? And so the idea is, instead of hostile competition, it's about peaceful coexistence and collaboration. Instead of private property and everything, it's about the commons. How do we have things, ownership or custodianship of property, ideas, etc. in the commons. It's also about saying that there are so many people in society whose contribution to the economy is never valued. Women, children, right? So how do we value that? Not necessarily in monetary terms, but actually give it the qualitative value that it deserves. The acts of production, reproduction, the caring, the sharing, taking care of elderly, taking care of children, taking care of the house. So many things that so many people do who are never actually thought of as being economic producers, but they are in one way or the other.
माना अपनी जेब से फकीर है, ला 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 ला, फिर भी यारो दिल के हम अमीर है। माना अपनी जेब से फकीर है, ला 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 ला, फिर भी यारो दिल के हम अमीर है। ला ला ला, मेरे जो प्यार के लिए वो जिंदगी, जले बहार के लिए वो जिंदगी, किसी को हो ना हो हमें है एतबार, जीना इसी का नाम है।
I like to believe in what Joanna Macy calls the great turning, that a few generations after us they will say, oh yeah, 2020, that was the year when people finally realized, and it became a massive movement to stop extracting, and they started caring more deeply and allowing themselves to care more deeply.